The Batman 2021 full Batsuit. Have you seen it yet? We're going to talk about it today on Mirror Domain's Movie News. What else is up? We're going to take a look at the box office results over the weekend. What came out on top? Did Sonic come out on top? Yes, it did. And what else? Let's see. The Haunting of Bly Manor just wrapped its production. And there's some Star Wars news with a new writer coming on board, J.D. Dillard, that we'll take a look at. But on the outside news, it's also hockey, NHL trade deadline day. And how did your team turn out? Did you get some good trades? Did it get better? I hope mine did. All right, let's get to it. Hello, my name is James and welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News. And on today's show we are indeed going to be taking a look at the Batman Batsuit. And I hope that I'm going to offer you just a quick little perspective that not a lot of people out there are talking about. I have a perception that I don't see a lot of people talking about, and I'll get to that towards the end of the show. As you know, I do put time codes in the comment section below for all of the topics of today that you can use just to jump ahead if you really want to get to that Batman news. And yeah, you can interact with it like that. But first up, we're going to talk about this J.D. Dillard news from Star Wars as I get my morning coffee, and McBain will take over for me. J.D. Dillard? Never heard of him. But you know, if Kathleen Kennedy's getting behind him, he must be a true talent, right? A real true talent. Well, let's just look at his IMDb page here. And as we can see, it doesn't have a whole lot of credits. It's kind of curious. Now, people have said that he's made this movie Slight, that a lot of people like, but then when you look it up, not a lot of people really like that. So what's going on here, man? Well, really, why is this person getting a Star Wars movie? I thought Rian Johnson was supposed to have one. I thought Kevin Feige was supposed to have one. I really don't know what's going on anymore. And I think that's the impression that a lot of people have, is they don't know what's going on and they don't care about this J.D. Dillard. But here's the bottom line. I looked at his works and I was kind of like, well, what's going on here? Why? Why is this happening? Well, he was a production assistant on The Force Awakens or something like that. He was a stormtrooper in Rise of Skywalker, so that must make him an expert in making Star Wars content. Right? Right? No. I looked at his Instagram page and I saw this picture of him with JJ, and that just means that he must be in tight with Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm in general. Or he must have had this insane pitch where they're just like, yep, that story needs to be made. And what Deadline is reporting is that this movie is about Exegol. You know, that Sith planet that we saw in Rise of Skywalker, where they had all those Star Destroyers with Death Star weapons. And it was kind of like, ugh. Some of the lore may be interesting to explore there, but I think that's one of the weakest parts of Rise of Skywalker for a lot of people. So I'm just kind of like, I'm not on board with this, man. I'm not on board with this at all. And I don't think a lot of people like you are on board with this either. It's just, man, what's going on there, man? What's going on with Lucasfilm? So, what did you think about this news, J.D. Dillard? Does something about it seem not on the on the level, or does this seem like it's something that really is typical of Kathleen Kennedy to do? I'm just, I think for the most part, a lot of people out there are not too excited about it. But then, I kind of look at this guy and I'm kind of like, well, if this is your big shot, you got to take it. You have to take it. When you get something like this on your table and on your plate, man, you really got to go for it. And hopefully don't let anyone down, because if you screw up, then we're never going to hear about this J.D. Dillard ever again. But that's just the risks that you have to take in this business. And moving on here now, we're going to talk about some of the box office results. And I'm going to just quickly put them up here on the side for the weekend. The weekend box office, as we can see, Sonic came in at number 1. I think people expected that. But narrowly behind it, The Call of the Wild came in at 24.8 million. which was higher than projected. I think most people had it at 16 million, myself included. And then Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey was third with 7 million. Brahms the Boy 2, 5.9 million. And you think that would be a bad thing, but it's not really. I'll talk about that in just a moment. And Bad Boys for Life sneaks back in the fifth spot, which I think a lot of people were expecting 1917 to have that spot, which it did. It did come in at sixth. But let's just talk about some of the things that happened here on this weekend. I'm going to pull up the little stat sheet for Call of the Wild here, and we'll take a look at it. Because this movie cost $135 million. Man, that was just too much. And as I said on Friday's show, that when I did a trailer reaction to it, which actually pretty interesting. I'll leave links to that up in the cards above, because it's about the story that takes place in the Yukon, and I come from the Yukon, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I really wanted this movie to do well. But with that budget so high, it's so difficult, because as we can see here, domestically, to 24.8 million plus 15 internationally, it's just made 40 million worldwide. And movies don't go up after the first week. They go down. They slowly taper off. So it's going to be lucky to make back its production budget overall. It'll be lucky if it squeaks there. It's ultimately going to end up losing this studio money, this 20th Century Fox, which is now Disney. They're going to lose money on this because of the budget being just so high. And that's a real bummer, because from what I've been told, Harrison Ford knocks it out of the park. And I feel like that one should have been handled a little bit differently in its production state. I'm not going to talk about Brahms too much here. It made 5.9 domestic and 8.1 worldwide. I said in my review, it's not that good. If you want to see my movie review for that, I'll leave links to that in the cards. It had a budget of 10 million. Blumhouse is good for making smaller budget films like this that make its modest returns. So Brahms, not that good. I'm not going to comment too much about that. Oh yeah, The Haunting of Bly Manor. Coming in close, I'll tell you about it. So, here's what you need to know about The Haunting of Bly Manor. Now, if you were a fan of the Haunting of Hill House, which I was, I thought it was a fantastic horror series that was told from multiple points of view, and it kind of left it open for a sequel. If you were a fan of that, and I think you were mostly anticipating this, but here's what you need to know. Mike Flanagan, he directed Dr. Sleep, which was one of my favorite movies of last year. He's got a firm grasp of this genre. And when I was reading what Bly Manor is based off of, it's based off the book The Turning of the Screw, which doesn't sit too well with me, because we just saw a movie about this material this year called The Turning with Mackenzie Davis, and I really was anticipating that movie, and it just let me down. And when I was doing my review and such for that movie, I saw the source material itself is kind of vague and ambiguous. It's about two kids that are orphaned by parents who are gone now, and now this caretaker comes to their manor and takes care of them, but you don't know if there's ghosts or not. It's just kind of ambiguous and vague, and it's just kind of like, it leaves you with a raw ending that just kind of like, yeah, it's just kind of like, it's mixed, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I really want this material adapted again, so fresh, but I trust Mike Flanagan to carry us through it and hopefully deliver something more entertaining, like the way that the first Haunting of Hill House was, rather than the source material of The Turning of the Screw, because that's just, I don't know about that. So yeah, as I said, Mike Flanagan took to his social media. He posted on Instagram, I believe it was, that the Haunting of Bly Manor has wrapped its production, so it's coming out later this year, and hopefully we can expect good things, even though it gives you that moment of pause. And that's what you need to know about the Haunting of Bly Manor. Okay. And that brings us finally to the Batman and the Batsuit. that just got some images released over on Friday night that it was just too late. I didn't get it into that show, but we're going to talk about it today. And as you can see, it's him on his Batcycle. We get to see that in some kind of graveyard setting, and we get to actually see that, it's the stuntman. It's not the actual Robert Pattinson, and that's fine. I'm curious though, the stuntman sort of does look like Ben Affleck with the, right? People have said, oh. And, the shoulder pads and everything, it's just kind of like, what do you say about this? It does sort of look like he's wearing hockey pads almost. So you can see like Bale's Batman saying, at least I'm not wearing hockey pads. At least I'm not wearing hockey pads. But you are now. This Batman is sort of looking like he's wearing hockey pads. People have commented and said that they didn't really like it. Overall, that's sort of what the buzz is. But my observation about this is something a little bit different that I don't see a lot of people talking about. And I'll get to that towards the end here. But I just wanted to talk about the costume overall. The cowl, we actually get to see the ears, because in the little first look glimpse trailer with Robert Pattinson, they didn't show that part. We saw that the cowl has stitching on it and such. But here we get to see a stuntman on it, and apparently he fell off the bike here in this little stunt. And we get to see Catwoman here. I think it's Catwoman. People are speculating that it's Catwoman ahead of him on their bikes on a way to fight bad guys or whatever. And something that a lot of people haven't really said here is, with all of this stuff, say what you will about it. Somebody put the white eyes on him here. I find like that was kind of funny. But I'll pull back to the shot here of him on the bike. Why does he have his light on? And it just got me thinking, for the most part, when you see a night shot, most of that stuff is filmed during the day. And we don't see his cape on here either, which I think is just going to be put in by CG. That's a fairly common thing. I'm not going to ramble on about that. But because the light is on the bike, I'm guessing that this may be a day for night shot. And I don't hear a lot of people saying that, which means that basically they film something during the day, but then they turn it into a night shot by changing the exposure in post and such like that. I think that's what's going on here. So as much as people are saying that they don't like the way that it looks, you got to remember it's probably going to be darkened later on, like that day for night stuff. Here's a shot from Mad Max Fury Road where they shot the truck during the day. But in the post, they took down the exposure and everything, and they made it look like night. Because at night, basically, you can't film at night because you won't be able to see any shadows. And if you can, they're going to boost the ISO and everything will have a grain to it, and it just won't look all that good. They would rather shoot it during the day and make it look like night in post. That's what they usually do. And I think that's what's going on here. As far as the costume, it's a lot more mechanical. I like the fact that it looks like he's going to be able to move his head a lot more, which is a little bit of a different thing than what some of the other Batman costumes had, except for the Bale costume in Dark Knight Rises. But I like how that series addressed some of the issues with the suit. This one looks very much year one, which a lot of people have said. So I just wanted to get your guys' opinions on this suit. Did you like it, or did it make you go, I'm not too sure if I like what I'm seeing, but this is just production photos. Wait till you actually see it in motion. Wait till you see the final product before rendering your final decision, because, a suit doesn't make or break the movie. It's the story. All right, so that's it. That's the day it's kind of been for movie and entertainment news, February 24th, 2020. Let me know what you thought about some of these stories in the comments below, and I will talk to you there. That's it. YouTube is recommending a video for you to watch right there, and you can see my latest one just right up here. My name is James, and you're watching Mirror Domains Movie News. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe right there.